Did you know that you are walking around with uncashed checks in your spiritual pocket every single day? Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the universe is never holding back your money. It is not judging you. It is not punishing you. It is simply waiting for you to present the check. She famously said, "Man can only receive what he sees himself receiving." If you are praying for money but visualizing debt, you are trying to cash a check that isn't signed. You are standing at the counter of the universal bank, but your hands are empty. Today, we are going to fix that. We are going to enter the bank of the imagination. I am going to show you how to write your check using the pen of the Spirit, how to endorse it with faith, and how to demand the cash that is yours by divine right. The funds are there. It is time to make the withdrawal. Introduction. The vault within. To understand how to cash these checks, we must first understand where the bank actually is. Most of us are trained to look for our wealth in the outer world. We look at the stock market. We look at our employers. We look at the economy. We treat these outer institutions as the source of our supply. Florence Scovel Shinn teaches us that this is the fundamental error of human thinking. The outer world is not the bank. The outer world is merely the ATM. The bank, the actual vault where the gold is stored, is inside you. It is your imagination. Florence called the imagination the scissors of the mind. She said that, day by day, hour by hour, you are cutting out pictures in your mind. You are cutting out pictures of success, or you are cutting out pictures of failure. And sooner or later, you will meet these pictures in your physical reality. Think about a checkbook. A checkbook is simply a tool that promises payment. It represents value that is stored elsewhere. Your thoughts, your mental images, and your words are the checks you are writing to the universe. Every time you say, "I can't afford this," you are writing a check for poverty. You are signing it, dating it, and handing it to the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, being a faithful banker, cashes it. It looks at your request for poverty, and it delivers poverty. Every time you worry about a bill, visualizing the red notice, visualizing the embarrassment, you are writing a check for lack, and the bank of the imagination honors that check immediately. But the reverse is also true, and this is the secret we are unlocking today. If you can learn to write a check for immediate, endless supply in your imagination, and if you can present that check with absolute conviction, the bank must honor it. It has no choice. It is a law. The inventory of the invisible. What is stored in this bank of the imagination? Florence tells us that the divine design of your life is stored there. Many people believe that money is scarce. They believe there is a limited amount of gold in the world, and if someone else has it, they cannot have it. This is the orphan mindset we discussed in previous videos. In the bank of the imagination, the inventory is infinite. Florence Scovel Shinn often used the term, the universal supply. She taught that money is actually a spiritual substance. It is energy. And energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. When you look at your empty hands, you are seeing a temporary condition. But when you look into the bank of the imagination, you should see the truth. There is a story Florence tells of a woman who came to her in great distress. This woman was living in a state of deep poverty. She felt disconnected from the flow of money. She told Florence, "I have prayed, I have affirmed, but I am still broke. Why isn't the bank opening for me?" Florence looked at her and asked, "What are you imagining?" The woman admitted that while she was praying for money, she was constantly imagining herself being evicted. She was rehearsing arguments with her landlord in her head. She was looking at shop windows and saying, "I will never have that." Florence explained to her, "You are asking the bank for gold, but you are presenting a check for dust." You see, the bank of the imagination works on a currency called faith. But not just faith in a religious sense, faith in the sense of active belief. Worry is faith in the wrong thing. Worry is faith in disaster. When this woman worried about eviction, she was using her faith currency to buy an eviction. This is why your checks are bouncing. You cannot cash a check for prosperity at the counter of fear. The teller will look at you and say, "I'm sorry, your signature doesn't match." Step 1. Writing the check. clarity of vision. So, how do we write a valid check in the bank of the imagination? The first step is clarity. You cannot go into a bank and give the teller a blank check and say, "Give me some money." They will ask, "How much? From which account?" Yet, this is how most people pray. They say, "God, I want more money. God, please help me. Universe, I want to be rich." These are blank checks. They are vague. The universe loves specificity. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that we must be definite with the infinite. She said, "You must ask for what is yours by divine right." There is a very specific danger in asking for money without specifying that it must come under grace. Florence tells the story of a woman who desperately wanted $1,000. She focused on it. She willed it. She visualized the check. And she got the $1,000. It came to her through an insurance settlement for an accident that caused her injury. She got the money, yes, but she did not get it under grace. She cashed a check that had a hidden fee attached to it. This is why, when we write our checks in the bank of the imagination, we must always add the clause, "under grace," in a perfect way. Under grace is the safety lock. It ensures that the money comes to you without harm to you or anyone else. It ensures the money doesn't come from an inheritance because someone you love died. It ensures it doesn't come from an accident. So, your first assignment in the bank of the imagination is to define the amount. But don't just define the number. Define the feeling of the number. If you write a mental check for $1 million, but your stomach tightens with fear because you don't believe it's possible, that check is a forgery. You are faking the signature. The subconscious mind knows you are lying. It is better to start with a check you can believe in. Can you believe in an extra $500 this week? Can you believe in the rent being paid? Can you believe in a new client showing up? Start there. Write that check in your mind. See the amount clearly. Florence taught that the imagination is a muscle. If you have been poor for a long time, your imagination is atrophied. It is weak. It cannot lift heavy weights yet. You have to train it. You train it by writing smaller checks and watching them cash. Then, as your confidence grows, you write bigger ones. The currency of acting as if. Once the check is written in your mind, once you have the clear picture of the money, you must endorse it. How do you endorse a spiritual check? You endorse it by acting as if. This is the part that trips everyone up. People say, "I will believe it when I see it." Florence Scovel Shinn says, "You must believe it to see it." Imagine you have deposited a check for $10,000 into your physical bank account on a Friday. The bank tells you, the funds will clear on Monday. On Saturday and Sunday, you don't have the cash in your hand yet. But do you worry? No. You go out to dinner. You plan your purchases. You feel rich. Why? Because you know the money is in the process of clearing. You trust the bank. The bank of the imagination works the same way. When you do your visualization, when you speak your affirmation, you have deposited the check. The delay between your prayer and the manifestation is just the clearing time. It is the weekend. But what do most people do during this clearing time? They panic. They check the app every 5 minutes. They cry. They say, "It didn't work." By doing this, they are effectively calling the bank and canceling the transaction. Florence Scovel Shinn calls this digging up your seeds. You plant the seed of wealth, but then you dig it up the next day to see if it has roots. By digging it up, you kill it. To cash your check, you must behave, during the waiting period, as if the money is already yours. This doesn't mean you go out and spend money you don't have and go into debt. That is foolishness, not faith. It means you spend the money you do have with a spirit of freedom. If you have $10 in your pocket, do not clench it. Do not fear its departure. Spend it with the feeling of a millionaire. Bless it as it goes. Florence said, "All life is a vibration. A rich man vibrates at the frequency of having. A poor man vibrates at the frequency of needing. You cannot receive a check from the having department if you are standing in the needing line. You have to switch lines. You switch lines by using your imagination to create the feeling of having even before the physical check arrives. The perfect plan versus your plan. Another major reason checks bounce in the bank of the imagination is that we try to dictate how the bank should pay us. We write a check that says, "I want $5,000 from this specific client by Tuesday." We are micromanaging infinite intelligence. Florence Scovel Shinn teaches that there are 3 minds involved in this process: the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. The superconscious mind is the bank manager. It sees the big picture. It knows where all the gold is hidden. It knows that the client you are obsessing over is actually broke, but there is another client, 3 towns over, who is looking for exactly what you have and wants to pay you double. When you demand that the money comes from source A, you are blocking source B, source C, and source Z. We must learn to write our checks to the universe and its infinite channels. We must say, "I give thanks for this sum of money," or something better, or something better. That is the magic phrase. Maybe you are imagining a check for $1,000, but the divine design has a check for $10,000 waiting for you. If you limit yourself to the $1,000, you are cheating yourself. You are cashing a check for pennies when you could have had diamonds. In the bank of the imagination, we must be bold, but we must also be humble enough to let the bank manager decide the route of the delivery. Our job is the what, the money. God's job is the how, the delivery method. Once you have written your check, visualized the desire, and endorsed it, acted with faith, the bank will send you instructions. Florence calls this intuition. In the physical world, if the bank needs to contact you, they send a letter or call you. In the spiritual world, the bank of the imagination contacts you through hunches. You will get a sudden urge to go to a certain place. You will get a sudden idea to call an old friend. You will feel a sudden compulsion to buy a lottery ticket, or apply for a job, or start a business. These are not random thoughts. These are notifications from the bank that your funds are ready for pickup. But you have to go pick them up. Florence tells the story of a woman who wanted a specific fur coat. She visualized it. She thanked God for it. She cashed the check in her imagination. Then, one day, she had a strong hunch to go to a specific department store. The reasoning mind, the army of the aliens, argued with her. It said, "You can't afford a coat there, don't go. You'll just be sad." This is the doubt trying to cancel the check. But she listened to her intuition. She went to the store, and there, deep in the back, was the exact coat she wanted, marked down to a fraction of the price, a price she could perfectly afford. If she had ignored the hunch, the check would have remained uncashed. The money, or the value, was waiting for her, but she had to move her feet to get it. This is the partnership. You imagine, God provides. You act on the lead. We have learned how to write the check. We have learned that the imagination is the vault. But now we must address the painful reality that many of you face. You write the check, you try to believe, but the check bounces, the money does not appear. The unexpected door remains shut. Why does this happen? In the physical world, a check bounces when there are insufficient funds. In the spiritual world, checks bounce for a different reason. The bank of the universe always has sufficient funds. The supply is inexhaustible. The gold is there. The cattle on 1,000 hills are there. So if the bank has the money, and you have the desire, where is the blockage? The blockage is in your mental standing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you cannot attract what you want. You can only attract what you are. If your consciousness, your deep, internal vibe, is one of resentment, fear, or old debts, you are essentially freezing your own account. Imagine trying to withdraw money from an account that has been frozen by the government. It doesn't matter how much is in there. You can't touch it. Resentment is the #1 cause of a frozen spiritual account. Florence was very clear on this. Resentment pulls down the castle. You might be praying for $1 million. You might be visualizing the perfect business. But if you are walking around hating your ex-husband, or resenting your boss, or feeling bitter about a bad investment you made 10 years ago, You have built a wall of steel between you and the bank. Why? Because resentment is a form of poverty. It is a belief that someone took something from you. It is a belief in loss. If you believe someone stole your good, you are telling the universe, my good is limited, and it can be taken away. The universe says, okay, if you believe in loss, here is more loss. To cash your check in the bank of the imagination, you must first clear the old debts of your subconscious. This doesn't mean paying off your credit card instantly. It means paying off your emotional debts. You must forgive everyone who has ever wronged you financially. This is not a moral suggestion. It is a selfish necessity. If you want to get rich, you cannot afford the luxury of hate. Hate is too expensive. Florence gave a powerful affirmation for this. If there is anyone you feel has blocked your supply, you must say, there is no competition for my good. No man is my enemy. No man is my friend. Every man is a teacher. I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. When you say this, and truly mean it, you are unfreezing the account. You are dissolving the insufficient funds notice. You are clearing the channel for the spirit of gold to enter. The land of the ciphers. There is a place Florence Scovel Shinn described called the land of the ciphers. A cipher is a zero. It is nothing. Many people live in the land of the ciphers. They have plenty of zeros, but no digit in front of them. You might have 0, that is nothing. But if you put a 1 in front of it, you have 1 million. That is a fortune. What is the 1? What is the digit that turns nothing into millions? The 1 is focus. In the bank of the imagination, your focus is the pen that writes the numbers. If your focus is scattered, you are living in the land of the ciphers. One day you want to be a writer, the next day you want to start a crypto business, the next day you just want to win the lottery, the next day you are depressed and want nothing. This scattered energy confuses the subconscious mind. The bank teller is standing there waiting for instructions, but you are shouting 10 different orders at once. To cash your check, you must come out of the land of the ciphers. You must be single-minded. Florence quoted the Bible. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You cannot serve 2 masters. You cannot worship wealth and worry at the same time. You have to pick a side. This week, I want you to perform a spiritual audit on your focus. What are you actually thinking about 90% of the day? Are you thinking about the 1? Or are you thinking about the zeros? The bank fills whatever you focus on. If you focus on the emptiness of your wallet, the bank will work overtime to ensure it stays empty. If you focus on the feeling of the wallet being full, the bank will rush to fill it. Now we come to a very advanced concept in the bank of the imagination, the law of circulation. In a physical bank, if you take money out, your balance goes down. In the bank of the imagination, if you give money out, your balance goes up. This is the great paradox of metaphysics. Hoarding stops the flow. Florence taught that money is like blood. It must circulate. If blood stops flowing, it causes a clot, and the body dies. If money stops flowing, the financial body dies. Many people try to cash a check from the universe while simultaneously refusing to pay their own bills. They hide from their creditors. They clench every penny. They tip poorly. They steal small things from the office. They think they are saving money. In reality, they are blocking the inbound transfer. You cannot trick the bank of the imagination. The bank knows your vibration. If you vibrate stingy, you will attract stingy. You will attract clients who don't want to pay you. You will attract refunds. You will attract unexpected expenses instead of unexpected checks. To cash the big checks, you must learn to spend under grace. This means that when you pay a bill, you don't do it with a heavy heart. You don't curse the electric company. You say, I bless this money. It goes out to bless the receiver, and it returns to me 1,000-fold. My supply is endless. When you do this, you turn a transaction into a multiplication. You are telling the bank, I am not afraid of emptiness. because I know the source is infinite. Courage is the key that opens the vault. Fear is the lock that shuts it. The clean slate technique. So, let's say your account is messy. You have old resentments. You have fear. You have been double-minded. How do we fix it? We use the clean slate technique. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you can wipe the subconscious clean in an instant. The past does not equal the future. The past is just a memory. The future is created now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a blackboard. Written on this blackboard is every financial mistake you have ever made. Every debt, every bad investment, every moment of poverty. Now, imagine a giant eraser, the eraser of divine love. See yourself wiping that board clean. The chalk dust flies away. The board becomes black, shiny, and empty. Now, take the chalk of spirit. Write a new word on the board. Write opulence. Or write freedom. This is not just a visualization. This is a command. You are rebooting the system. Florence said, "You must not look back and dwell on the old days of limitation." Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. If you look back at your past poverty, you preserve it. You salt it. You keep it fresh. Turn your back on the past. The bank of the imagination only cares about today's deposit. Dealing with the time delay. The final block we must discuss in this section is the illusion of time. We write the check, and then we wait, and wait, and wait, and then we say, "It's not working." Florence taught that time is an illusion. In the divine mind, there is no time. There is only now. Whatever you are asking for already exists. If you order a package online, it takes 3 days to arrive. You don't panic on day 2. You know it is traveling toward you. Your money is traveling toward you. But sometimes, it gets stuck in the psychic traffic. What causes the traffic? Anxiety. Anxiety is like a thick fog. It slows down the delivery trucks. When you are frantic, checking the mail, checking the phone, asking, "Where is it?" you are adding more fog. You are actually delaying the arrival. To speed up the check, you must do the hardest thing in the world. You must stop waiting. You must transition from waiting for it to knowing it is done. Think about the difference. When you are waiting for a friend to pick you up, you are pacing, you are looking out the window, you are tense. When you are home and you know your family is in the other room, you are relaxed. You aren't waiting for them. You know they are there. You must inhabit the state of, "It is here." In the bank of the imagination, the moment you accept the money as real, the transaction is complete. The physical manifestation is just the receipt. Stop looking for the receipt. Enjoy the purchase. We have opened the account. We have cleared the blocks. We have wiped the slate clean. Now, it is time to write the checks. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us specific treatments, affirmations, for specific needs. Think of these as different types of checks you can present to the universal bank. You cannot just mumble these words. You must speak them with the authority of a wealthy account holder. I am going to give you the 3 most powerful checks you can write today. Check Hashon, the immediate relief, check for debt and bills. This check is for when the walls are closing in, when you have a deadline, when the army of the aliens is screaming that you are too late. In the physical world, if you are late on a payment, you get a penalty. In the spiritual world, it is never too late. The spirit works in the twinkling of an eye. If you are facing a financial demand you cannot meet, do not panic. Panic closes the bank. Instead, write this check. The affirmation. I cast this burden of debt on the Christ within. I deny that there is any lack in the kingdom. I am identified with the spirit of gold. My supply is endless, inexhaustible, and immediate. I pay my debts under grace in a perfect way. Why this works? Notice the word immediate. You are demanding speed. You are telling the bank, I need a wire transfer, not a slow boat. By identifying with the spirit of gold, You are reminding your subconscious that you are the money. You are not separate from it. Check #2, the avalanche check for business and income. This check is for those of you who are not in crisis, but who are stuck. You are surviving, but you are not thriving. You want to move from just enough to more than enough. Florence taught that we should not ask for just a teaspoon of water. We should ask for the ocean. The affirmation, all that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in great avalanches of abundance under grace. My ships come in over a calm sea. I have a wonderful business in a wonderful way, and I give wonderful service for wonderful pay. Why this works? The word avalanche is crucial here. It implies a force that cannot be stopped. An avalanche doesn't ask for permission, it just flows. And the phrase "over a calm sea" is your insurance policy. It means the money comes without drama. It comes without a heart attack. It comes peacefully. Check #3, the blank check for unexpected supply. This is my favorite. This is for when you don't know how the money will come and you don't care. You are just open to miracles. You are telling the bank manager, "Surprise me." The affirmation, infinite spirit, open the way for the divine design of my life. I let go of the little planned stack of money, and I accept the big pot of gold. Unexpected doors fly open. Unexpected channels are free. Endless good now comes to me in endless ways. Why this works? Most of us are holding on to a little planned stack. We think we can only get money from our job or a specific client. By saying this affirmation, you are physically releasing the small stack to grab the big pot. You are giving the universe permission to use any channel it wants. The Banker's Challenge, your 24-hour assignment. Information without application is dead. You have watched this series. You understand the theory. Now, I am going to issue you a challenge. I call this the 24-hour Banker's Challenge. For the next 24 hours, you are going to live as if you are the owner of the Bank of the Imagination. Here are your 3 tasks. Task 1, the morning withdrawal. Tomorrow morning, before you get out of bed, do not check your phone, do not check the news, close your eyes, go into the Bank of the Imagination. See the teller smiling at you. Hand them a check for the amount of money you desire right now. See them stamp it paid. See them hand you the cash. Feel the texture of the bills, smell the paper. Feel the relief. Stay in that feeling for 60 seconds. Then open your eyes and say, "It is done." Task 2, the blessing of the coin. During the day, every single time you touch money, whether you are paying for coffee, paying a bill online, or even finding a penny on the street, you must bless it. Do not let a single cent leave your hand without a blessing. Say silently, "I bless you and I send you out to do good work. Return to me multiplied." This keeps the circulation open. Task 3, the diet of words. For 24 hours, you are on a strict diet. You are not allowed to say anything poor. You cannot say, "I can't afford it." You cannot say, "It's too expensive." You cannot joke about being broke. If you catch yourself saying these things, you must immediately say, "Cancel, cancel. My supply is infinite." Your words are the pen. If you speak poverty, you are forging a check for poverty. Stop it. Conclusion. The vault is open. I want to leave you with this final thought from Florence Scovel Shinn. She said, "Faith is a place. It is not just a thought. It is a place you live. When you live in the place of faith, you are living in the bank. You are sleeping in the vault. You do not need to beg for what is yours. You do not need to manipulate people to give you money. You do not need to cheat. You simply need to align your imagination with the reality of God's abundance. The moment you can see yourself wealthy, without a shadow of a doubt, the money must manifest. The molecular structure of the universe will rearrange itself to match your picture. So, go forth today. Sharpen your scissors. Cut out a big, beautiful picture of wealth. Write your checks with bold confidence. The bank is open. The manager is waiting. The funds are there. Make your withdrawal.